And here we are. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tiana Piles. I'm one of the co-founders of BSTARS, Breastfeeding Sisters that are receiving support. I am joined by a special guest this evening, another co-founder of BSTARS, Lysandra, Ray,
Hi.
Century. Vonda, where else tonight, girl? I got started with your Facebook page. Girl, I'm so excited to have you here. This is gonna feel like old times and new times and nicer times.
Yes.
Hello, Charity Footprints. Hello, Tatiana. I see you. And Major Taylor, thank you for rejoining us. Hello. We're getting a stream of hearts on Instagram, girl.
Okay, cool
So
beans.
today we're gonna, yeah. So I'm gonna turn this around so you can see Sean as well. It's nice seeing you are looking at more than just my face. There we go. There we are. Okay. So, Sean. So today we're gonna talk about a little bit about like breastfeeding 101 and then segue into breastfeeding during the holidays. So, John, what do you with our pregnant mommies? What is some good information to share with them about their body changing to be able to support their baby's feeding needs, infant needs after they give birth?
Well, hello everyone. Um, my first mind suggestion to you is to stand your ground while you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
If that's you made the conscious decision to breastfeed, stand your ground, even with doctors, even with family. So once you have the baby, you will already have that mindset regardless of and be prepared to breastfeed. Um, Also be prepared for things that might happen after you have the baby that someone might say you can't breastfeed because you can. If you have your baby
Mm-hmm.
early, you can still breastfeed. If your babies that have to go in the NIC unit, you can still breastfeed. So my first
Right.
suggestion would to be just to make sure you stand your ground while you're pregnant and after you have the baby on your decisions on breastfeeding, because that can be
Mm-hmm.
a stressor to a first time mom who's
Mm-hmm.
not aware of breastfeeding, no
Right.
experience, or just found out the last trimester of her pregnancy about breastfeeding, or
Mm-hmm.
just made the
Mm-hmm.
decision, I want to breastfeed. So stand your ground from the jump.
Right.
um you want to add to it, or T?
No, I definitely agree with all of that. Sometimes I tell moms this is like instead of you just delivering your bodies up, I'm pregnant, okay, healthcare provider, do what you must with me. It's like, nah, you're supposed to have your birth plan together, and so to be able to tell your doctor, your healthcare provider, your midwife, these are the things in which I would love to happen, and of course, hopefully, including that breastfeeding. And like you said, hopefully our doctors in this day and age should be at least asking a question of breastfeeding, but we still find that we still have work to do. So as you were saying, stand your ground. That yeah. And and like we say that, and it doesn't have to be all, militant or whatever, but it's like, look, this is my body. This is what I want to do with this experience that I'm experiencing. It's almost like a wedding, if you will. There are certain things in which how you see yourself wanting your wedding to go or your night or whatever. And so you say, no, I want it like this. And so you have to make plans for it, share those plans. So yeah, you're so right. So what's happening to a mom's body in terms of like her breasts? What makes she be feeling being pregnant?
Well, your breast will be enlarged. And then I know some moms, when they do want to breastfeed and they're pregnant, their biggest concern is, I don't see any milk. I don't,
Mhm.
why is no milk coming out? You won't
Right.
see that. You'll probably see colostrum, which is
Mhm.
the third trimester. And some
Mhm.
moms don't see colostrum until when they have the baby. So don't
Right.
get discouraged that you don't see milk during your
Mhm.
pregnancy. Your breasts will be enlarged, your breasts will be tender, um, and that's okay. It's supposed to happen. Your breasts are making room for milk, and so it's
Mhm.
normal. Um, And then after, like I said before, that during your third trimester, some moms do see colostrum. It's thick, it's clear, and that's good. That's what your baby needs from the jump, is that colostrum, because your colostrum has so much good stuff in it that your baby needs. And then once you deliver the baby, a lot of
Mhm.
moms will get discouraged if they don't see the colostrum or don't see the
Right.
milk. I mean, the milk. One thing that I do suggest is, if you have to resort to feeding the baby formula until your milk or colostrum comes in, spoon feed the baby. Try not to give the baby a bottle. Tell your doctor, tell your nurse that, hey, I know this is going on, but I'm still trying to
Mhm.
breastfeed.
Mhm.
Do skin to skin soon after you have your baby, because that help brings your milk in. Um, Pumping, massaging your breast if you're having any issues of your milk not coming in. And then also, a lot of times when moms have C-sections, it takes a minute for their milk to come in. Do not get discouraged. Continue to put your baby on the breast. Continue,
Right.
even if nothing is coming out, continue to pump and massage your breast, like with a warm towel, using a
Mhm.
warm towel to get that milk to flow. And then
Right.
eventually your milk will come in. And like I said, if you have to result in using formula, tell the doctor to use a syringe or spoon feed the baby, and not introduce the baby to a nipple, because it's so important. You don't want your baby to get nipple confused or get
Mhm.
used to using a nipple. You want your baby to know you and attach to
Mhm.
you. So
Right.
in that instant, skin to skin always helps stimulate your body to
Right.
stimulate your breast, because that's your body reacting to your baby. Your baby crying,
Mhm.
that's your body responding to your baby, stimulating your breast. When I
Mhm.
breastfed my children, and every time they cried, I felt a tingling in my breast, and my milk started coming. So
Mm.
in that instance, even if your milk is not there, record your baby crying and play that recording and put it next to your on your chest,
Mhm.
and watch what happens.
Mhm. You just remind me of a precious memory when we were both working for WIC. It was amazing to me that the pumps that we offered actually had a space where you could put your baby. Do you remember that? So I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was like the neatest thing, because it just, shoot, you could be in a store and a stranger's
Mm-hmm.
baby cry, and your
Yep.
letdown happens. Oh my goodness. That's just neat and amazing. Do you remember? You made me think of a really precious memory from when we were at WIC. All right, so tingling, even soreness, breast
Soreness.
may
Yeah.
start getting a little larger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so some people feel like, oh, if they're starting to get colostrum or some milk while they're pregnant, that there's always these trends. And so, how do you feel about people trying to pump their milk while they're pregnant?
No, pumping your milk while you're pregnant will start your uterus to contract, and we don't want that. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to go into preterm labor, and just let your body do what it do. Is
Right.
That's just the natural response of and that's a good sign that, hey, you got colostrum, your milk coming. Your milk is coming. So you
Right.
don't want to do any pumping while you're
Mm-hmm.
pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
because it will start you into it can start you into preterm labor, and your
Mm.
uterus will start contracting, and we don't want that. So
No.
just, dear mama, look at my shirt. Just let it flow. Let your body
Mhm.
do what it needs to do. That's just a natural response. And some moms get colostrum, will see colostrum throughout their whole pregnancy. Just wipe it off.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I
Right,
never.
and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong if a mom doesn't, because I know
Yep.
sometimes,
Hmm.
it's wonderful to see our mothers who just can pump milk and just have an overflow, and that's great. But at the same time, for our moms who may only be able to produce just enough to provide all that they need for their babies,
Hmm.
sometimes that can be overwhelming. And so we don't ever want to give an example of this is the only way and that's how it should be, because every baby, every pregnancy, every breastfeeding experience, even between children from a mother, is
Yeah.
different. So, yeah, but you're so right about that. Yeah, it's interesting all these little trends that
Hmm.
pop up. It's so funny because like sometimes it seems like the trends in baby, oh my goodness,
Breastfeeding.
breastfeeding, yeah, spread quicker than the
Yeah.
actual thing of breastfeeding. I'm
Hmm.
like, you know what? All right, we need a
It's
good
kind.
rumor
It's
to be
yes,
spread.
and it's kind of taken away the natural of
Right,
breastfeeding,
right,
just the natural of breastfeeding, letting your
right.
body do what it do. I've
Absolutely.
seen some moms in a rush, because they're trying to follow, as you say, the trend that they see.
Right.
No,
Hmm.
every woman's body is different. What works
Absolutely.
for someone else might not work for you. And then
Hmm.
once it's not working for you, you will get discouraged. This is the time for all moms to learn their bodies,
Right.
learn
Absolutely.
yourself.
Right. Because here it is, you've been in this amazing journey. Just the fact that we can get pregnant, carry a baby, you know, um, within us, that is in itself just miraculous to me. And so then here it is, you give birth, and then now your body now is into that next step of now we got to feed this baby, and you can do that too,
Yep.
all of your body. And so that is so empowering, but at the same time, sometimes for some of us, it can be scary or overwhelming. And so that's why I love what we do here at BSTARS is just provide and facilitate a way for moms to connect and get that support that they need. I was talking with Kamathi the other day with her new baby, and I was telling her, I'm like, you are building such wonderful experiences and things that you'll be now able to share with other moms. And that's just how we, especially as Black women, we're trendy, we're all those things, but we really learn in a trusted space from each other. That's the best way, to get good information. It could be a way to get bad information too, but we're
Yeah.
gonna err on the side of good, and just help support in the way we can, and empower our moms and our families. So that's super important. And, one of the things what we love doing for our community. So we've gotten ourselves off to a good start, or we worked through a few things that we needed to adjust, and we're on to breastfeeding. Now, girl, here we are in the holiday season. So here it is. You have family
Woohoo.
members who may or may not have been, you're right. So they may or may not have been on board with this whole breastfeeding thing. First of all, shoot, this is going to be really like the first holiday season that safely, everybody's going to get a chance to meet the baby. And then on top of that, they're a little skeptical about you pulling your breast out and breastfeeding, around, Uncle Randy, who, it's like, hey, how do we navigate this so that we do not add extra stress to it already could be stressful situation for our new breastfeeding moms?
Basically, you have to go in with the confidence. Prepare yourself for anything, any reaction, any response, negative response. Prepare yourself for
Hmm.
your family that's not going to support you or going to say what they need to say. Go ahead and say, for instance, you're going to you at dinner with your family, and you
Hmm.
are comfortable with you have pre-conversations with your family members before dinner that you already who knows and support you breastfeeding, and
Hmm.
encourage them to have your back while you're there. Try not to let the naysayers discourage you from breastfeeding. So
Right.
that's why I said prepare yourself, because they're gonna come. The comments are gonna come. I know
Hmm.
if it wasn't even holiday season and I'm in the mall and people had something to say about me breastfeeding my children, and I had a cover on. No one saw
Hmm.
anything. It was just the fact that I was breastfeeding my baby
Hmm.
in in public. And
Hmm.
and the world has conditioned the minds that our breasts are not for feeding our babies. Our
Mhm.
breasts are for pleasure. No,
Mhm.
it's for
Mhm.
pleasure and feeding our babies. It's that's
Right.
is that's what it's for. You look at the animals. What are the animals doing? They're
Right.
feeding their young.
Right.
They're not
Yep.
embarrassed. They're out in public, even though they're animals, but
Mhm.
still, that's their natural response. And as women and as humans, we need to go back to, hey, that's the natural response. That is natural for a woman. That's what a woman
Right.
is supposed to do.
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
you prepare
Absolutely.
yourself for those conversations when you get with your family. Oh, okay, you have an issue with me breastfeeding. Well, you can go to the other room. Or I'm just being
Right.
real. That's just me. I didn't care. But I had a supportive family
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
both sides when I was
Mhm.
breastfeeding. And when I have my
Mhm.
next one, that's the plan, is to breastfeed. And I did have an issue with when my son had
Mhm.
a relative on his side was not supportive of me
Uh-huh.
breastfeeding, and when she kept him, she was sneaking and
Mm.
giving him formula, and I would find
Oh
out.
no.
Yes,
What?
yes. And once I
Oh girl,
found out,
I would have been heated.
oh yes, I was, and my baby didn't
Oh,
go over there no more.
right, right.
Yes. And you could tell in the baby's stool, my son's stool was different. I'm like,
Mm,
it's not supposed to. He was constipated, he was
mm,
irritable. And when I found out, she had been doing it for a good little minute, and then I just
mm,
stopped. When I had my daughter, it's
mhm.
either you with it or you can't see her.
Right.
She saw her, so she had no choice.
All right, right. And it's amazing because like some of the reasons why family members sometimes aren't with it is because first of all you can't see okay, well, no, first of all it's a breast like you were saying, and
Hmm.
so it's crazy in this day and age where people want to objectify women
Hmm.
as objects, but when you not make a woman an object and take that away, you have her body left, her breast for her baby to nurse, and so do what you're supposed to be, what you were made to do, what you're created to do. And then secondly, um, people think because you can't see the milk transfer,
Hmm.
how do you know that? Because that's what I got, right? How do you know he's getting enough? I'm like, don't you hear him? You can hear it. And I'm like, and then thank goodness my children were like, especially my Isaiah, bro, he was a chunky monkey. He was a Michelin baby, just rolls of breastfeeding that. So it was like he does not look like he is needing for anything. It's just amazing how, like, I'm sure your cousin thought that they were doing the right thing by helping your child have some formula because obviously not getting enough. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Which is crazy, horrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy how like it's important for us to educate, of course, our moms and their immediate family. But grandmamas need to know, uncles need to know,
Hmm.
like everybody needs to know how to support this new mom. And in doing that, I think some of our stress as new moms and that newborn period comes from that. So how awesome is it? Like you were saying, you have for the majority, your family was supportive. How
Hmm.
awesome is that for a new mom who's already, unsure, a little nervous about things, to have that support from her family.
Repeat that again.
No, just to have the support from her
Okay.
family, that's
Okay.
a wonderful thing. And yet in this
Yeah.
day and age,
Yeah.
2021, and a woman's choice with her body is still
Hmm.
not properly supported.
It's not. It's
So,
not. Yeah,
girl.
that support is real, real major. That support, even with the spouse, the
All
baby's
right.
father, that
Mm-hmm.
support is needed because if he's not supporting her, just imagine the stress, she's already
Right.
enduring after being pregnant and then having the baby. That leads to more stress, and support matters. Support matters. Ah, hashtag. So,
Oh,
so yes.
right, right. All of that. And and for me, like around certain family members who weren't supportive, I had to be, like you were saying, courageous.
Hmm.
At the same time, people's comfort level. And so you don't totally want to weird people out. If you're used to just nursing, a certain kind of way, maybe you use a cover up. Maybe
Yeah.
there's certain things that will allow you that introduction of
Yeah.
having a family member feel a little bit more comfortable. Now I know
Yeah.
there's some moms like I don't care, and I get that too. But at the same time, fortunately, we take these moments as being able to educate our families, and you
Mhm.
can't do it and be
Yeah.
combative about it, if you will. So
Yeah.
sure, be assertive, be strong, be courageous, but at the same time, take these moments as like teachable moments for your family members who should know better, but obviously don't. But their niece, their cousin, their granddaughter needs them. Of course, they want to see the baby. Oh, that's the thing too, girl. People want to
Mhm.
hold the baby and feed the baby. Like
Uh-huh.
that's the only way to bond with this baby.
No, ma'am. Bond with this. Let
So
me feed. Let me feed my baby, and then you can bond after. Give me a break after.
right.
But
Yes.
also to piggyback on that is
Uh-huh.
going back to prepare yourself. You know how people think, the mindset of people when it comes to moms breastfeeding in public or around family. And as you stated,
Right.
don't be combative, or if you know your family is not for you breastfeeding, or don't support you, don't go and plop out your breast in front of your family. Don't put my goal is what I'm trying to say is don't put yourself in a situation that's going to cause you to react. Prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Prepare. If you know your Aunt
Right.
Susie is going to have something to say, all right, I got you, Auntie. I'm going to feed my baby. I'm going to put a cover up on, or
Okay.
I'm going to go to another
Yep.
room. That way you
Mm-hmm.
can, you know, people are going to talk, but you don't have to face their confrontation, you know, right there in front.
Right.
Just prepare yourself for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. You're right. Just that find that balance. And you're visiting. So hopefully and God willing, it's just for a short moment in time with family that will grow to learn and know what you're doing for your baby. You're not breastfeeding forever. It is a part of the journey. And you want your children, you want your family members to see you in this different part of living. Now their niece is a mom now, and in the back of their mind, I promise you, actually thinking about it and wishing that they could be as courageous as they see you being. So just stay the course, sis. It's gonna be okay. And try and keep what cornbread liquor and all that other stuff away from the baby too, because we don't
Yes.
need anything but breast milk to 6 months.
Yep.
And people just try and get in all these little funny stuff like what? Well, my baby don't need a chicken bone in 2 months.
Been there,
Oh
done
my
that.
goodness.
And it wasn't me.
Us and our families, girl.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you joining. Mm, say that again.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, this would be starting to break. Uh, you can hear me.
Okay. It keeps breaking up, but I can hear you now.
It's okay. I'm so proud and happy that you joined me this evening. Miss you, girl. I look forward to seeing you soon. How's everything in your world? Mm-hmm.
Can't complain. I'm on cloud nine.
Okay.
Just on cloud nine.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's great, Cloud9. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. I hope that you have it. One again.
I can't hear you.
Mm,
Okay.
technology.
Okay. Now I can hear you.
All right. I know. We're trying to get off of here, and also it's going to try and act up. Well, I'm saying good night. I hope that you have a good day tomorrow. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah. I'm saying
Yes.
goodbye.
Okay. All right. See you later.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you